Hello. If you remember in the last monthly update, my chair broke because I bit into. Oh shit. So in the meantime, this is what I'm dealing with. And it'll likely stay as that for the foreseeable future because I am lazy. But anyway, welcome back. It's second of these monthly writing update videos and telling you what I've been doing, what I've been getting up to. Yeah, so April, definitely a more productive month than the past two. Finally got the third draft of my main project underway, which is good. Significantly more words written, in fact over 2,500 more words than last month, that being March. Wrote for around about the same amount of days overall, but was a lot more consistent with actually, hitting my word count. Actually was frequently exceeding my word count. Most of the days going even over 600 words a day, which is pretty good. So my daily target is usually around 500 words a day. That's kind of what I at least aim for and was able to surpass it quite frequently. So I was really enjoying getting back into the swing of things with this main project, and it's all coming along quite nicely, if I do say so myself. So my main focus for this month was, like I said, third draft of Control, or The Blue Sun, or whatever the hell I'm calling this main project at the moment. It's mainly working on filling out and adding depth to certain parts that were kind of glossed over in the second draft. So the people who have read my second draft, the quite helpful feedback and information that they've given in regards to what needs more work, what needs, just more overall. Because while the second draft basically ended up being around about 90,000 words, there were elements, a lot of people said that they were kind of lacking depth here and there. Most notably, the main protagonist for most of the novel, at least in the second half, she didn't have much in the way of a backstory, at least not one that was explicitly written, spoken about in the story itself, which made it difficult for people to really relate to her, sort of understand her and get along with her and her motives and that kind of stuff. So I've been noticing, I keep saying "and that kind of stuff" at the end of most of my sentences, because my mind sort of carries the momentum and feels like I want to say more, even though I don't have anything to add to that point. So that's annoying. But overall, that's one side of it. Also going over the main rise to power of the antagonist, following that, putting more detail into that, and adding other little moments of depth here and there to strengthen the ties between certain characters. Don't want to go too much into spoilers at the moment, because, plot things. Yeah, so those are just the general kind of moments and parts to flesh out overall. Still working on it, of course. You don't write an entire thing in a month. But so far I have 9,779 words this month overall. That's also including a couple of other little bits. There's 2 days that I've dedicated to, one of them's only 149 words. That's just proofreading. So that's just me correcting spelling, grammar, and word choices, things that very helpfully my dad noticed, and stuff that he did notice that I did notice on this second read over, to just correct as it went on. So that was just a proofreading thing. So I just included the words I added to that because, of course, it adds to the word count overall. And there's another extra day where I was working on something else. I can't remember. I think it was the outline of the other novel idea. That will be for future reference. But minus those two, it's basically close to 10,000 words I've added to the work in progress thus far. So I haven't done an exact measurement calculation thus far, but I'm pretty sure that puts me either close to or just over 100,000 words for this current draft, which is a lot. It's certainly on the upper end of what probably you can get away with as a debut author. So maybe to work through it if there's a time where I can trim certain things down, because I don't want it to be too long, because if it's ridiculously long, it's difficult to get published, but also I don't want to overly bloat it as a novel. So, because that's one of the things I've been most concerned about, often to a fault, I think, because I'm talking this through with some people. I find that a lot of the advice online has tended to be in regards to, you know, don't overdo this and that and the other. So that kind of informed my writing style, and I ended up basically writing quite conservatively overall and not adding too much here and there, trying to keep things on the slimmer side, of course, then lacking certain detail in others, so building it up. And again, I still want to keep it to a reasonable length, because, you know, much more than 100,000, and I think it's, I don't know, I find it easier to underwrite and then add more build up than to write a lot and trying to find stuff to trim out, cut down. I find it easier the former way. So that's why I'm operating on this methodology. But as for the daily average, so that's about 543 words a day on average that I have managed. So pretty good. Over 40 words on average more than my daily target, which is pretty good and pretty nice. Yeah, I think there's only 2 days. Yeah, there's only 2 days that I didn't meet the target. And that's not including the extra day. That was just proofreading, which only added 150 words in. So overall, pretty decent progress. But moving on forward, I've got to, so the immediate tasks of what I've got to add to it is I'm in the middle of writing a section dealing as an escapade between our main hero, the main hero of the story, going on sort of this mission of sorts, basically, to procure supplies. So that's sort of like halfway-ish done. And there's other elements of, I want to expand the ending, because at the moment the ending is quite abrupt. There's, again, I'm going to try and change it, but so hopefully this won't be too much spoilers for how it actually ends up. But at the moment it's sort of, they do a thing, there's a big fight, and then it's over, and then there's just, it's over. So it's kind of abrupt. I'm not sure I like it being that abrupt, so trying to expand that, different elements here. Shush. Trying to expand elements here and there overall, and I suppose other little elements of general world building to weave into it, because I've been a little bit too, again, I've been writing a little bit too conservatively, and there's lots of advice online about, you know, don't just halt the story and railroads people off to, you know, here's a history of this whole entire region or whatever. But I was going a bit too far in the other direction and kind of keeping things quite, you know, not saying things outright by just not saying them at all, which maybe has left some people confused here and there as to how things work. So that's definitely something I need to work on. But of course, with that, the word count will rise ever so slightly, and more as it goes. So it remains to be seen how long this draft ends up being in total, but we will see. We will see. But yeah, anyway, won't keep you too long, mainly because I've got to literally take this video and edit it and upload it today. I'm recording this the morning of well, just about the morning, it's almost midday, so anyway, hopefully progress will be good and nice, and I will see you, well, I'll see you in the next video, which will be next week, but I will keep you updated and posted for this at the end of next month, so stay tuned for that if you want. Anyway, I'll speak to you all later.